The Johns Hopkins Kimmel Cancer Center's LiveWell series gets breast cancer survivors and their families moving. Fun, easy routines demonstrated by Shauna Harrison, certified Under Armour trainer, and survivors like you. Modified options for every fitness level, body type, and treatment stage. Enjoy these exercises and strengthen your body, mind, and spirit. Now let's get going.
Hi, I'm Shauna Harrison, Under Armour trainer, and I am here with Sarah and Grace, breast cancer survivors, and we are doing a core workout today, and we have a lot of modifications that are going to be happening, so you can take a look at them today to get some of those modifications, and we are going to get started, a little workout. So come on down to all fours. We're going to start with a cat-cow to warm up that spine a little bit, warm up our core. So we want to make sure we start with the shoulders directly over the wrist. We're going to spread the fingers nice and wide, and you want to make sure that you're not kind of cupping the hands. You want to press the hands down nice and strong. So from here, we're going to press those hands down around the spine. Let your chin come down towards your chest, tuck. Good, and then we're going to take that tailbone back behind us. Let everything come forward. That head's going to come forward, and we're going to do it again. Press down, round everything up. We're going to try to articulate through that spine as much as we can, really rounding that back all the way up. And then take that tailbone out back behind us. Let those shoulders relax down, and we don't want that belly to drop all the way to the floor. Good, do it again. Press down, round everything up, nice. Try to articulate nice and slow. So it's a really slow motion here. We're moving with that breath, taking that tailbone back behind you, good. One more time, press down, round everything up, beautiful. Tuck a little bit more if we can, yes, good. Take that tailbone back behind you, let that head come forward. And now we're gonna find a spot right between those two. So we're not too arched, not too rounded. We're still pressing down, the core still engaged. Left leg is gonna come back behind us, left toes are gonna curl under. From there, instead of shifting back towards that leg, we're gonna keep the shoulders stacked on top of the wrist. Take your right hand, reach it forward. Let the shoulder blade draw away from the ears. Level 1's gonna stay right here with that foot back down onto the ground. Level 2, Grace over here is gonna take that foot off with me. We're gonna reach the fingers, reach the toes, draw that shoulder blade down. So it's a lot of core work to sort of stabilize you, to try not to fall over to one side or the other. So really press down instead of sinking into that left hand. Keep breathing, keep pressing. Nice. Head's looking straight down so that we keep that spine nice and long. Beautiful, you guys. Awesome. Take one more full inhale and exhale here. And then we're gonna put that right hand down, bring that left knee down, readjust so that we can start from a good position. Right hand's gonna press down, we're gonna take that right leg back behind us, curl those toes under. Again, restack those shoulders if you need to. Sarah's gonna keep her foot onto the ground. Grace and I are gonna lift that back leg up. We're gonna take that left arm forward. Take the thumb up towards the ceiling, let that shoulder blade draw down. Evening out between that hand and that knee. Those back toes can be curled under. If you want that back foot flat down onto the ground, you can put the top of the foot on the ground as well. Trying to keep that right hip from squaring, or keep the right hip squaring down instead of rolling out to the side. Nice, you guys. A couple more inhales and exhales here. Starting to feel that core firing up. Good, and last exhale. And then we'll bring that left hand down, bring that right knee down. So we're in an all fours position here. And we're gonna come into a little turbo plank here. So we're gonna curl the toes under. Sarah's gonna show us without lifting the knees off the ground, but we're gonna lift the knees off the ground and hold. So it's just a hold, it's just a hover. Again, being careful here that we don't just end up sinking down into the shoulders. The whole idea, we push the floor away, we lift up underneath that core. So even if you don't have your knees off the ground, you can still feel the core lifting up. You can still feel it activating there. Awesome job, Grace. Grace still has her hips stacked on top of her knees. We're pressing down, we're holding, we're breathing. Beautiful, you guys. Last 3, 2, and 1. Set your knees down onto the ground. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna add a little bit of movement to it. So Sarah's gonna show us just a baby crawl, right? So she's not gonna take her knees off the ground. Grace and I are gonna do a little bit of a bear crawl. Take this as slow as you need to. We're gonna come up into that plank position or stay down, and then we're gonna just take a couple steps forward. You don't have to go super far, especially if you don't have a lot of space, and then take a couple steps back. The whole idea is you're not walking like this, right? So we're staying low to the ground. Couple steps forward, couple steps back. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. Let's go one more time forward, one more time back. Staying low to the ground. Beautiful. Now, set the knees down. Take a little break here. All right, so we're gonna come down into a plank position on our forearms. So drop down onto your forearms. We have some options. We can stay in this sort of all fours position with the hips stacked on top of the knees, or we can drop the hips a little bit more. Grace will do that. She'll drop her hips a little bit, keeping those knees down, or you can come up onto your toes. From here, if you're on your toes, I would separate the feet just a little bit so you have some space. We're gonna walk up, right hand, left hand, walk down, right forearm, left forearm. So it's up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. Good, and keeping those hips stacked if you're taking the all fours position, letting those hips drop and that butt come down in line. A little bit more, yes, good. Up, up, down, down. And again, watching out so that you don't bring the shoulders all the way up into the ears. You really wanna control that core as much as possible. Up, up, down, down. Switch sides so that you go the other side first. Breathing. Taking a break or holding a plank at any point that you need is fine. Let's go one more set. Up, up, down, down. Nice. Now set your knees down. Perfect. So from here, we're gonna come into a side plank position. We're gonna start with the left hand or left forearm down onto the ground. Sarah's gonna show you that you can keep this on your knees if you'd like. You can take it onto your toes. You can also cross your right foot over your left to make it just a little bit easier. Right hand's gonna go up. Either way, we wanna keep those hips lifted, keep that core engaged, keep pressing down through that left elbow, yeah? Awesome. Trying to keep those hips stacked on top of each other too. We're squeezing, we're breathing. If you're feeling pretty good and you want a little extra movement, you can always take that right hand, thread it underneath, and reach back up. Right hand threads, and reach up. Squeezing, breathing. Taking those breaks whenever you need them. Good. 2 more inhales and exhales. Perfect. And then we'll set ourselves down and just flip right over to the other side. Right forearm goes down. Option to stay on the knees. Option to cross that left foot over. Option to stack your feet, we hold. Good, keeping those hips lifted. Press that forearm down. You got it. And then if you want to take that left hand and thread. Nice, you guys. Hold for a few more breaths. Last exhale here. And then we're gonna set those hips down. You get to lay all the way onto your belly. It's not really a break, so don't get too excited. But from here, we're gonna come into Superman. So we're gonna bring the toes together, bring those hands out, let your forehead come down towards the ground. So I'm gonna show you here on Sarah. We want those shoulder blades to draw all the way down the back. Those feet are gonna squeeze together. You're gonna lift up, just like you would imagine Superman, yeah? Right, good. So keep those shoulder blades coming down. Yeah, you don't have to come up super high. It's not really about how high you get. Think length first, right? So reach to the toes, reach to those fingertips, and then come back down. Good, do it again. Keep the head down in line with the spine. Yes, good. And come back down. Nice. How are we doing over here? Good, awesome. Just relax your shoulders a little bit. Nice. Reach length first, toes, fingers, yeah. Nice, come back down, couple more like this. Making sure you're breathing the whole time. Good, one more. Got it. So we're gonna take the exact same thing. You're gonna come up and we're gonna add some movement to it. So think like you're swimming. And the thing that happens here with this quite a bit is that people tend to just move the legs from the knees down to the ankles. So it sort of looks like this. And you wanna really move the whole leg at the same time. Yeah. So think from the hips all the way down. You got it, you guys are doing awesome. Swim it out. Nice, keep your breath going. Inhale, exhale, heads down. So that yes, forehead's in line. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, you guys. Bring your hands underneath you, press yourself up. We're gonna sit ourselves around, come onto our spine. So set your feet down. We're gonna grab on behind those legs, and we're gonna roll ourselves all the way down onto our back. So once you get onto your back, we're gonna get those heels right underneath your knees. So you don't wanna be super far away from you. You're right underneath those knees. Knees are about hip width apart, hands are gonna come down to the ground. We're just gonna do some bridge roll-ups here. So we're pressing down through the feet. We're gonna roll up slowly, articulating through that spine as much as you can to lift the hips up so that we eventually get the knees, the hips, and the shoulders in one straight line. So that doesn't look like this, and you're not overarching the spine either. Press those heels down, really try to engage all the way through the front and back of the body. You'll feel your hamstrings, your glutes turn on a little bit. Focus on the core, focus on the lower back a little bit. Take one more inhale, and then we're gonna roll down, starting with the upper spine first. So we start to set that upper spine down, start to set that mid spine down. We come all the way through that lower spine, and then that pelvis hits the ground. We're gonna do it again. Take an inhale. As you exhale, tuck under with that pelvis, start to roll up one vertebra at a time. You can press down through your hands to help you out. Awesome. Take another inhale. As you exhale, roll down slowly. We're gonna do it 2 more times. These guys are gonna keep going as they are. I'm gonna show you a single leg variation. So we can press down, roll up slowly, extending the opposite leg out. Good. Trying to keep those hips as even as we can. We roll all the way back down. And we'll do one more. If you want to switch those legs, you can. We roll all the way up slowly. And then exhale, roll yourself all the way down. Awesome. Planting both feet down onto the ground. We're gonna grab onto those knees, roll ourselves up. And we're gonna stay in this seated position. So this is now we rolled up, right? For those bridges, those hips came up. Now we're gonna roll back with that upper body. So we have a lot of options here. Option 1, we're all gonna grab behind the legs first. We're gonna sit ourselves up nice and tall. So the idea is that we're gonna roll back. Maybe you don't wanna roll all the way back. Maybe you can't get yourself back up. Once you do that, totally fine to grab onto legs. You don't have to go all the way back. I can come to here, stop, and bring myself right back up, right? So that's what Sarah's gonna show us. We're gonna roll back. Sarah's gonna stop there. She can come right back up. Grace and I are gonna keep going. Grace, you can also come as far down as you need to, and then bring yourself back up, right? If you want to roll all the way back, you can also do that. You can also take your arms all the way up and over your head and don't use your hands at all to help you. Idea is you want to keep those feet planted down. We roll down through that spine, let your shoulder blades relax, especially if you're hanging on, because you hang on, you kind of want to hold on with all of your might, but let go a little bit in those shoulder blades, keeping those hands engaged. Keep your breath steady, whichever variation you're doing. Good, let's do 2 more. Good, last time we'll stay all the way up next time you come up. Beautiful, and then we're gonna release. So from here, we're gonna come into a reverse tabletop. So my hands are gonna come behind me. My feet are gonna be right underneath those knees. If you're not okay with doing this position, if you have any pain down the side of your arm, you can come down all the way down and come back to that bridge that we did. This time, Sarah's just gonna hold in that bridge. Walk your feet back just a tiny bit, yes. She's just gonna hold in that bridge while we do this. So Grace and I are gonna bring those hands behind us. I like my fingertips facing forward. Some people like to turn them back. I would just recommend not turning them sideways, right? So press down, lift your hips up, kind of like that bridge we did, which is why Sarah's doing that modification right there. This time we're holding here. So Grace is gonna stay here. Another option, if you wanna make it a little bit more challenging, is to bring one knee in, bring it down, bring the other knee in and down. Exhale as you bring that knee in. And at any time, if you wanna stop doing this and just hold that reverse tabletop, you can. Exhaling as you pull the knee in. Good. Last 2, inhales and exhales here. Awesome job holding that bridge, Sarah. Keep breathing. Beautiful. And then we'll very slowly lower ourselves down from whichever variation you're in. Sarah's gonna grab behind her legs to bring herself back up. We're all gonna come to the seated position. So boat pose is the last one we're gonna do right here. Again, lots of options. If I don't want to take my feet off the floor, I don't have to. I can just sit back, hold. So similar to the roll down, except now we're just holding, right? If I want to take one foot off, I can take one foot off. I can take both feet off, or I can take my hands off and hold here. If you really want to extend your legs, you're welcome to do that too. We just want to draw the shoulder blades down. Use that core to sit yourself up. Let the chest come forward a little bit. Let that back be nice and supported. Good. Hold and breathe. Nice, you guys. It's very common to hold the breath here, so just make sure you're not doing that. Good. A couple more inhales, exhales. Last inhale here. And then exhale, we'll grab on, bring those feet all the way down. Good. We're gonna swing those feet around, stretch out a little bit here. So we're gonna come into Sphinx Pose on our bellies. Elbows are gonna go right underneath those shoulders, hands are out in front of us. So think almost like a forearm plank, but we're just gonna let that lower body be down, right? So elbows underneath your shoulders. Elbows underneath your shoulders, moving forward a little bit. There you go. Bring them in towards each other. Yes. So like you're gonna do a forearm plank, right? A forearm plank would be here. Now my belly's just down. and I'm gonna hold here. So it's almost like I'm pulling my chest through as I draw my shoulder blades down, just lengthening out the front of the body, which we just worked quite a bit. Just breathing here. So we can stay here if you're comfortable here. If you'd like to come into upward facing dog, we're gonna bring those hands right next to us. Shoulder blades are drawing down, elbows are pulling in, so it's not out here. Tops of the feet are onto the ground, and that's the only other thing that's on the ground. So I'm not gonna come into it this way because this is a ton of pressure on that lower back, right? So if I'm gonna come into upward facing dog, I press the tops of the feet down, I hold and I hover those back legs. So the tops of the feet are pressing down. Good, yeah, beautiful. While those shoulder blades are coming away from me. One more inhale, wherever you are. And then we exhale, lower all the way down. Good, press back onto your knees. And we're gonna just come into a low lunge here to stretch out those hip flexors a little bit. So let's take your right foot forward. We're gonna walk the hands up onto that thigh. So the back knee, it's better if you're in the front of the knee instead of being right on top of that kneecap, just because there's a lot of pressure right on your kneecap. So if you can get a little bit forward, we're actually gonna sit the hips forward a little bit here, and you should feel the front of that left leg start to open up. Good, just breathe into it. One more inhale. Good, exhale, we'll bring those hands down. Step your right foot back, step your left foot forward. Same exact stretch. Get onto the front of that right knee, walk those hands up, draw your shoulder blades down. Good, lengthen out the front of that right body a little bit more. Last inhale. Good, and exhale, you can bring your hands down. Step your foot back, have a seat. Awesome, awesome work, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Good job, guys.